Here we go. Harry Potter and Rowan. Does it get more magical than that? I don't know. Let's dive in and find out what we're talking about. Rowan is sometimes called mountain ash. Mountain ash is, in fact, a different plant, so watch out for this common name similarity. Mountain ash is Fraxinus ornis. We are talking about Rowan, sometimes called mountain ash, but we are referring to Sorbus aucuparia or Pyrus aucuparia. These are the European. There's also Sorbus americana. In the eastern varieties, we're going to be talking about Sorbus fascinensis or Sorbus hupanensis. There you go. So these are the varieties that we're speaking to here. And in traditional Chinese medicine, from the Eastern perspective, this is a very important, clear, damp heat herb. That's its big strength. So we're going to talk about things like leukorrhea, treating leukorrhea, UTI infections, urinary tract infections, diarrhea, nausea, digestive issues caused by what we would call damp heat. In the West, it's similarly understood to be a diuretic, a laxative, kind of good for hypoglycemia, emetic, help you throw up. Not something you always want to be doing, but it can do that because those little berries can be toxic in their raw form. You've got to transform it magic by heating it or freezing it. If you don't freeze or heat the berries and you just go out there and eat a bunch of raw, you're going to get sick. You're not going to feel good about it. You're not going to be happy. So make sure you do that. There's a compound in there called parasorbic acid. It's toxic in that raw state, but the heating and freezing transforms, more magic, that compound into just scorbic acid, which is very commonly used as a natural preservative in cosmetics, but also in food. So you'll see that word showing up. Back to Rowan. Sorbus derives from the Latin meaning service tree. The European botanical name, the aucuparia, whether Sorbus or Pyrus, means to catch a bird. How much more sacred can you get than? How much more magical? This is the symbol of the spirit being caught in and brought, right? We think about all those owls flying in, Rowan tree in Harry Potter. Rowan also means becoming red. It's one of the names that derives out of the ancient German, meaning becoming red. That is a big deal. Red is the color of blood. Red is the color of life and passion. And this is a tree that can become red. It also derives from the Old Norse word and the Old Sanskrit word for rune, meaning also the Old Scottish word meaning red one. And runes, as many of you may know, were stones or carvings that were also used as tools for divination. They were, so rowan trees grow on the edge of forests. They're way up there. They like the cold. They like the inhospitable hillsides, craggy granite outcroppings. For thousands of years, they've grown in Scandinavia and Newfoundland, Northern Europe, high in the Balkans, Northern Asia. These are trees you've got to go out of your way to get to. That in itself implies a very important sort of shamanic journey. Shamans are the people that would go out and commune with other energies. Does it get more magical than that? Commune with spirits in other worlds, in other places, whether the underworld or the heavens, to bring back healing information, to be helping people in the wide variety of ways. That's what the rowan tree does. That's where you go to do that. She's said to belong to the great goddess, and she was the queen of the fairies, and therefore associated with this idea of the spirit world that we were just talking about, and that the rowan tree would also offer protection on these kinds of spirit journeys, so you didn't get lost. You didn't want to find your way out and never be able to come back. In Scotland, it was considered absolutely taboo to cut down any part of the rowan tree if you were not going to be using it for sacred purposes. And joyously, they are now having a program in Scotland where many groups of people are coming together to help reforest, and re-wild huge swaths of land in Scotland so that they can be bringing back the original trees, the Rowan tree, the oak trees, natural insect, improve the habitat altogether for animals and birds and all of this. So this is incredibly beautiful and wonderful and magical in and of itself. The Druids, the ancient Celtic Druids, they associated Rowan with intuition, opening up second sight, bringing gifts of inspiration to you. So all of this is very, very magical. And just to really underscore this, in Harry Potter, not a single Rowan wand, which the tree was often used to make wands, even in the Celtic traditions, was ever given to a dark witch or wizard. And remember, the wand chooses the owner. So Rowan wands only ever chose those that were pure-hearted or clear-headed. And this is quite extraordinary. And that we know that from Oleander. And he was the wand master of masters. He knew his wands, and that is his tidbit that comes out of Harry Potter. And it points very clearly to R.K. Rowland's depth of knowledge of the Rowan tree, its myths, its stories, and its empirical. That's a great word. Empirical is this idea of knowledge that comes to you from experience. And we have thousands of years of experience with this tree as a culinary food, right? The berries, as a medicine, as magic, and as sacred. Don't underestimate the Rowan tree. Go read your Harry Potter and enjoy discovering its applications in that book. And certainly remember to transform those little berries if you're out there harvesting in the wild. In their raw form, they are toxic. They can make you throw up, hence the emetic word we mentioned before, vomiting. They need to be transformed, magic. They need to be heated or frozen to transform that parascorbic acid into scorbic acid. Visit our website at White Rabbit Institute of Healing and find out more about this amazing culinary, medicinal, magical, and spiritual healing tree.